Jaguars getting an upgrade in their stadium. So it's, I don't know. It's a typical Jaguar situation. This is how I looked at it, because this is something that's been needed to happen for a very long time. They've slowly done like weird upgrades. They threw in a few pools, massive jumbotron, great stuff, good stuff. Everybody loved it. The stadium still isn't that great. It's near the bottom of the barrel of stadiums. You got Miami's down there, Titans are down there, and the Jaguars are sitting right around next to it. It's just not an appealing stadium to go to. It's for a professional football stadium, it's whack. So an upgrade has been needed for a very long time. I just feel like the timing of it, it's horrible and great all at the same time. It's horrible because it feels like the Jaguars are starting to find a rhythm. They're starting to actually be good and decent. And then you want to pick up and move them for 2 years and have this fan base that is more locked on and bought in than ever, going to have to travel. So either, and we'll talk about the possibilities here in a minute, but we're looking probably at 3 hours maximum of where they could be going, right? That's number one. The reason why it is a good thing is because, look, it's great that they are giving this fun and new exciting team a new upgraded stadium. That's the pro of it. It just feels like the timing of it is just atrocious. What do you think? You're muted, big guy. What happened to you? You said it says guest has muted themselves. Hello? There you go. There we go. Go ahead.
All right. Wow, I just pulled a Holly, guys. I am so sorry for that. This is a new deal we're working here. No, I think it's the perfect time, truthfully. It shows, number one, that your fan base is locked and bought in. So a little bit of move down the road, you know that you're going to sell tickets. If you were sucking, then, you know, that's even more questionable. So this is a perfect time to do it. It also shows Jaguar Nation, hey, we believe in this team. We believe in you guys as fans, and we want to give you the best experience out there. Plus, Florida is a perfect site for a Super Bowl, which brings in loads of money. Okay? So I think this is a perfect time for this, truthfully.
I love that you mentioned the Super Bowl because I don't know if you remember this, but I think it was 2003. The Super Bowl was here in Jacksonville. 4, maybe 5. Maybe it was 5. It was around that time, and it was considered the worst Super Bowl in regards to how it was hosted of all time. I think it's definitely in the top 3 of the Super Bowl experience, and it was like it'll never come back to Jacksonville. Not because of just the stadium, but because of just the surrounding areas. We could not handle the energy and the amount of people that came flooding into Jacksonville. Jacksonville is massive, what people don't understand, but it's big, wide, right? Most cities go up. It's in a dense area. Jacksonville is very big, and you're not going to stay, 30, 20 minutes out when you come to the Super Bowl. You want to be close. There ain't nothing close. Have you ever been down here? It's kind of in the middle of, not nowhere, but it's in a city, but there isn't anywhere to live around that or stay around it. Now, that would be something that I would like to see is more places built up around it. Look, would a new stadium help with the possibility of it coming back, which is obviously great for the city of Jacksonville? Yes, absolutely. And look, I love your opinion on, hey, it is nothing but good, and it does show because there was always a lot of noise. Are the Jags going to move to London, especially because they were that first team to put their toe in the water of playing over in London? And now it's like the Jags own London, and it's like we'll talk about that a little bit later on when we talk about the schedule. But look, I think you're right. There's never a right time because you have to do it, and with the energy as high as it is, it's maybe a lot easier to get the front office and everyone to buy in. Like, hey, this is worth something because look what Jag Nation, look how these guys represented. Look how this fan base came out last year in the playoffs. I mean, we were all in, and you want that experience to be better and better. And yeah, that's it, bro. Going to a Jags game at 1:00 in the afternoon in Florida in August, September, October is absolutely brutal. You come out looking like a lobster every time. You're like a burnt French fry. It's not fun. It's not ideal at all. So you need to make that experience a much more pleasurable experience. They got to put a dome on it. Please put a dome on it. Make it retractable. I don't care what you do.
Or like a half awning.
Something, dude. Yeah, I've seen a few kind of like projections, and it looks like just the stadium is going to be open and the rest of it's going to be covered. And I'm telling you, I'll get season tickets if that's the case. Going to the games now is, like I said, it's not fun at all. But look, we'll see how it plays out. I'm excited to see, that upgrade and what's going to happen. But let's talk about where they're going to go. For the 2 years that the stadium is being rebuilt, where are the possibilities? Right now, a lot of noise is playing at JU, a soccer stadium. Their soccer stadium, which did host a football team at one time. There's no longer a football team there. They just have soccer, which holds about 9,000 to 12,000 people. The pros of that, it's in the backyard. You're not going very far. For parking purposes, I don't know the JU area. I know those campuses. Like, I know UNF's pretty big. I don't know JU's campus enough to say, hey, like, they could handle that. Could they handle tailgating? Could they handle these things? I think it would be cool. There's a pro of this, of it being close, but also 12,000, 9,000 strong. You have some intimacy with your football players. Now, safety might be a concern too, but you're going to lose a lot of money with that, I think. Possibly. That's number one. Number two, the other option, some being tossed around, and this to me is more just noise, is the Swamp, going to Gainesville. Personally, I think that'd be sick. I think it'd be great for the city of Gainesville. The stadium holds obviously 90,000 plus if you ask the Bull Gators, but technically the number's like 83. But I'm not going to go back and forth with that. But I just feel like you could really take advantage of it being at the Swamp, being obviously in Gainesville, like College City. Shit, throw 10,000, 20,000 tickets to this for first, have a student section for a Jaguars game. You know what I mean? Like, there's opportunities there that you could really capitalize on. How does that work out with switching, from paint to orange and blue? Not necessarily the stadium, but the field, right? Orange and blue to the Jags. That's a bit of an issue. And then the third option, and then I'll pass it to you, Cody, is going to be Orlando. And I think this is probably the most likely option. I haven't heard about it, but that's just typically where I feel like that'd be your best case scenario, especially for opposing teams flying in. Gainesville doesn't really, fit that mold as well. I know they have the private airport there, but they can make it work. Again, Gainesville shows they can host big games, right? Obviously. But anyways, Orlando has the Orlando City Soccer Stadium, and then they have Camping World, which is where the XFL team plays currently. I think it's Orlando Guardians. That stadium holds 60,000. That we spoke or precast codes that seems to be the best possible solution, simply due to it's an NFL stadium essentially already. It holds plenty, not too many, not too little, right? I think because the UCF stadium only holds like 45,000. Not that grand of a stadium either. But I'll pass it to you, and then we'll kind of go back and forth. What are your thoughts on that? Where do you think it should land?
Truthfully, the Swamp would be cool, but I think Camping World is it, and this is why. I think downtown Orlando is awesome. They have a nice bar scene. It's every time I've been down there, it's very clean. There's decent parking, and it just seems like kind of that college slash just a nice. I wouldn't say uppity, but just a nice place to be. Plenty of bars to host tailgating, and then you just make the move right on over to Camping World. I think Camping World is a spot if I'm the Jaguars front office. And I believe truthfully that Jags Nation is pretty spread out through Florida, and why not Orlando?
That's a good point. I think you definitely tap into that Orlando market. Again, we talked before, how far is the drive from Jax to Orlando? It's about 2.5 hours, right? So it's not horrible. But game day, when you got a mass going that way, going I-4 to me, Rec Central, and you'll probably take 2.5, 3 to get there. On the way home, though, you're probably sniffing 3.5, maybe 4, depending on how crazy it gets. Because you're not only going to be hitting football traffic, you're going to be hitting or Disney traffic and all that. So that's going to be the tough one. Look, I think coverage-wise and being able to, how it appears on TV, Camping World definitely is the better option. But we'll see how it plays out. Again, I don't know how far they want to go away from Jacksonville. Ideally, the best case scenario. I know right now they're looking around Jax. That's their plan. That's what they keep talking about. Is they're trying to find a stadium around Jacksonville. They want to keep it as close as possible. I've heard a few tosses be like possibly London. That'd be crazy to me. Like they're in London for 2 seasons. That would be wild. I would hate that. That would be the worst case scenario in my opinion. You even mentioned possibly Miami going on the Hard Rock Stadium. I think out of those, I think that's probably the I would say above Gainesville. Gainesville, I mean, that's being tossed around, but that just doesn't seem. Again, the traffic wouldn't be as bad, bunch of back roads and whatnot, and it's about an hour and a half, 2 hours, I think, to Jax, a little bit closer to Orlando. So we've got a year or two till that's all settled up, but we'll see how it plays out for sure, though. All right, boys.
Yeah, most definitely, and I think
good.
Most definitely, and whoever gets it, it's going to help the local economy. So there probably will be a little bit of a bidding war to get the Jags.